Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Simple Cooking with Heart virtual experience. You all, this year, it's 2021. You all are the inaugural class for this year. I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us. I am Chef Alfonso Dixon, and we also have the lovely Chef Stephanie Rose here, who is going to be your tour guide through this recipe. We are so excited to have you all. I know this year is starting off with a bang, but we are going to put a bang right in that pot by showing you this lovely recipe. We are doing Moroccan lentil stew with butternut squash. It is great for a good meatless Monday dish, but it's also great because when you start off the year, I always start off with a 21-day fast. So I do everything vegetarian. So this is going to be a good start for you all, something that'll help you kind of balance out your eating and things like of that nature. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Chef Stephanie Rose. She's going to show you this great experience. If you are joining us, please, let's see you. We want to see you cooking. If you're not joining us, if you're not cooking, please turn off your cameras. And the only reason I ask that is because sometimes it could be a little distracting to other participants. I'm going to be in the chat box if you have any questions or comments, or you just want to say hello. So I look forward to it. I look forward to speaking with you all, and I hope you have a great experience. Talk to you soon. Chef Rose, over to you.
Thank you, Alfonso. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Air kisses. We can do a lot of air kisses and air hugs virtually. Happy New Year. Yes, it's going to take me a few times for this 2021 thing to register. Can I say it? 3 times 2021, 2021, 2021. So first class of the year. So psyched that you're all here with me tonight because, I think I really need a Zoom express pass to Morocco. So that's where I'm going to take y'all tonight. It's spicy and it is a vegetarian dish and it's with lentils. All right. I know lentils don't exactly have that sexiness about them, but we need to change that, y'all, because lentils are power food. They are the food of the future. I mean, they last forever in your cabinet, right? I mean, they say you have to use them within a year. Really? I'm not going to tell you how long my lentils were in my cabinet. And then we get to use the wonderful, gorgeous, bright, delicious, hearty butternut squash, which we love. The only trouble with this bad boy is it is a pain to peel and cut. So I hope that you have your knives sharp. You kind of need a big knife for this big daddy. I don't know what happened, but boy, they've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, yeah, you know how that goes, right? They used to be kind of a little shorter and really beautiful, but all they had in my store, these big old guys. So this is what I got. And then we're going to be cutting up an onion. I am honestly surprised that there's no garlic in this. What? I mean, there's not a lot of things I cook without garlic. And, garlic is the bulb of life and it's got so many amazing nutrients. But this recipe is really easy. I think what's going to take the longest is cutting up and peeling this guy. So yes, you can buy it already chopped up, and I'm with you. I am not going to poo-poo that. I actually cheated and bought a box of one already chopped up because I wanted to test the recipe out and see how it cooked, which I did earlier today. So I'm going to have me a whole boatload of Moroccan lentil stew that I will be giving to my friends and in the community. So let's get started with this guy. I'm going to show you your knife a bit later, but actually maybe I'm going to cut off the ends first. So let's just make sure that you're holding your knife correctly. We have you know, you put your thumb, for those of y'all that are new, forgive me if this is a redundancy for those that, my regulars, okay? So you just listen and help your kids or your family that are there with you. So put your thumb on one side, like I have a little indentation for it, which is kind of nice, down by the handle. And then you put your pointer finger on the other side and you're pinching it here. And then your other three fingers should go around the handle. They should fit really comfortably. And this will give you the control. And we call that the pinching the blade technique. Okay, so I did sharpen my knife earlier. Really want you to be careful. I want you to hold on to that knife firmly because this is hard, okay? And this end here, where the you know, it's connected to the vine, is solid all the way through. So let's just start by, you know, hey, if you got to saw through it, fine. Okay, let's cut that bad boy off. And I also have to my side a bowl that I always have for all of my, you know, trash, you know, if I'm going to compost, just have that available so you're not, you know, working messy. Because working messy gets your brain all confused and you make mistakes. And, you know, I also have all of my mise en place together. So I hope all of y'all have all of your ingredients readily available out in front of you so you don't have to go running back for this and for that and rummaging through your spice cabinet. That could take a while. Okay, I'm going to cut off this other end. You know, one of the most important things when you're dealing with a vegetable that is this strange wobbly shape, you want to stabilize it. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting it. Sometimes I cut it in half first before I start peeling it, but I'm going to see how this goes peeling it. Okay, so I do prefer this peeler, but if you know, you take whichever one you have. I have also tried to cut off the skin. I mean, you can do that too, but so just do long, nice, long, easy. This is the you know, zen out on this, the zen of peeling. Now I do love these squashes, and I think I was researching it a little bit in one of my books. I want to say it comes, you know, squash is an America's animal, and it's kind of similar to a pumpkin, but I think it's certainly been evolved over many years to a sweeter, more beautiful, delicious vegetable. All right, this doesn't look too hard, right? Okay. It just gets a little tricky at the bulbous end. I like to get it down so it's to the bright orange part. You know, just that first go around, it's still kind of pale, and then I go a little further and it gets getting nice and bright and orange, more orange colored. So just keep going all the way around. Like I said, if you don't have time for this, Jazz, go ahead and buy the chopped up stuff. Hey, you know, I think they even have it in the frozen section. So there's another option. Go for the frozen. I think anything that's pre-cut, you know, the more hands that have touched it, the more expensive it's going to be. But we're gonna get way more than 4 cups on this Big Daddy. The recipe only calls for 4 cups. If you couldn't find any butternut squash, which is impossible this time of year, it's everywhere, the recipe said you could also use acorn squash or even sweet potatoes. So why not? We love that. We certainly love our sweet potatoes. We really just want to pack in as much nutrition to our eating as possible. Okay, lots of peels. Now this is not something you could put in your stock. So don't, I usually have a stock going on, simmering here if I've cooked chicken or has some bones of pretty much anything. Okay, now I'm going to do this bottom half. I wanted to show you how to do this. I know it's probably boring to watch, just so you could get the hang of it. If I just open up a box of everything already chopped up, you would not be seeing this exciting action tonight. So exciting. She's peeling. Hey, don't knock it. Some people actually are not really that good at using a peeler. Some people do not know how to peel, and that's okay. It's just, they haven't been trained. A lot of people just aren't cooking at home anymore, and I really want y'all to encourage y'all, especially this year. Again, do some more cooking, heart-healthy cooking at home. Of course, we have all spent a lot of time at home these days. Probably been cooking a little bit more than we ever have. So I think we're all super experts. I saw a lot of fantastic photos of people's holiday dishes over my vacation. I cooked, and I cooked a lot, but not too much. But I did not take a picture of anything. Like, I'm not, these girls look so pretty. I'm not photographing anything. So I gave all of my followers a little bit of a break from all of my food posts. Okay, so now mine is beautifully peeled. You can see it's kind of bright. I don't know if the lighting here is nice and bright and orange. Now what I'm going to do is, again, I want to stabilize it. So I'm going to cut it kind of where this neck ends here, okay? Carefully. There we go. And then see how solid all the way through. Ooh. Now this one, I'm going to cut it again. Notice how I set it down on the flat side, okay? Always, again, it's about stabilizing it. Makes it a lot safer to work with. So then I have much easier to work with like this. Okay, now this guy, maybe I'm a little crooked, is hollow. A spoon, and then we just want to scrape out these seeds. I don't know if you could dry these and eat these, but you might be able to. There's a lot of pumpkin seeds. You can do that too. So scrape all that out, or ask somebody to do it for you. It's not nearly as hard as a pumpkin. And I don't know if there's any other tool other than a spoon that can get this out. Okay. Nice. Beautiful. Try not to throw it at the camera here. And we'll do the other one. I turned the one I cooked earlier back on, and it smells divine. Because if you've looked at your recipe, we've got the exotic North African spice combination going on, which the combination of spices in this dish, you should probably, I hope you have them in your pantry, because they're not that difficult to find. Actually, they're extremely easy to find. Ground coriander. Gotta have some of that, right? If you can't find the ground coriander, you can always find whole seed coriander, which is fabulous too. And of course, anything that's whole, the seeds last a lot longer in your pantry, in your spice cabinet. And then we have cumin, which is also another seed. So, if you were feeling adventurous and fun, you could use the seeds, toast them off a little bit, get your mortar and pestle out, which is this bad boy. Have a few of them. And this is kind of fun to do too. Just, put them in here and then you sort of grind it up. Makes you feel like an apothecary, but you don't have to do that. So, but I happen to have all those. And then of course, cinnamon. The cinnamon is a wonderful exotic flavor spice that actually goes in a lot of the Moroccan dishes. They're tagines. I mean, they're calling this a stew. It's kind of like a tagine. So the cinnamon really, I mean, cinnamon is not just for sweet desserts, y'all. It adds a really nice little spin on something like this. So again, our spices, I have them already here. We've got a cinnamon, so get all your spices ready. I think I'm gonna have to look at my little cheat sheet. We've got 1.5 teaspoons of the cumin. We have 1.5 teaspoons of the coriander. And for those of you that don't remember, coriander is actually the cilantro plant, which actually means coriander leaf. So it's a coriander plant. So the cilantro, when it goes to seed, that gives you the coriander seeds. So if you're like me and your cilantro goes instantly to seed, save it. Speaking of cilantro, hold that thought. I've got to get mine out of the refrigerator. I'm going to be chopping that up. And just let me show you real quick. This is how I store all of my herbs nowadays, because they will keep for, honestly, at least 2 weeks. If you do it properly, all it is it's in a mason jar. I washed it really well when it came yesterday. Yeah. So it shook it out. Then I cut the ends off immediately put it in the water, put it in this bag, nothing fancy, just the bag that it came in from the grocery store. Put it back in the fridge, tied it up, just kept some of the air in it. So it's kind of like got this greenhouse thing going on. And you will have fresh cilantro for quite a while. I promise you. Be careful if you are keeping it in the fridge for a while. You may not want to keep it in that furthest part. You know how everything gets pushed in the back. It'll freeze, and that'll kill it. We don't want that. Okay, so gorgeous cilantro. Now let me finish cutting up the squash. All right, so we've got several chunks. The recipe said to cut it into like 1-inch pieces. That's kind of big, you don't have to cut it into 1 inch. It really depends on how long you want to cook it. And we have noticed some interesting things to the recipe. Okay, so these are nice, and then I'm just going to cut it into strips like I always do. Just take the top off just to give you a sense. So get some nice pieces here, just cut that into strips. Yeah, I'm, experienced at this. Watch your other hand, make sure it's, your thumb's not in the way when you come down. We don't want any lost fingers. Work in a manageable, pile. Okay, so now I'm just going across and we're getting a nice chunk. I wouldn't say they were perfectly uniform chunks, but I don't. Does not matter. Ideally, you want them pretty close to the same size, not for aesthetics, but for cooking time. So if you cut it some small, some large, some are going to be mush and some are going to not be cooked all the way through. So I said this is going to give me 4 cups plus. Let's see. Don't make a liar out of me, all right? We got one more here. Again, just do the same thing. Kind of putting a little pressure on my hand here because this bad boy's kind of hot, kind of hard. Hot, I wish it was hot. I really wish I was in Morocco. Nice little exotic country with fabulous textiles. I put out a few of my textiles today. Some little North African ditties. I didn't really know that lentils were kind of a North African thing, but it kind of makes sense because I know the French are really talented with lentils. And of course, the ones that they primarily use are the green ones, which were a little harder to find around here. But of course, you can find everything online, right? So you get your green lentils online or, some fancy Whole Foods. You can get the brown ones, which are perfectly fine anywhere. And they're really inexpensive. That's the other thing. I mean, this is almost 4 cups right here. Okay, this is a 4-cup container. So I'm not even going to cut these guys up. All right, will you forgive me? I'm going to save them though. So I've got my 4 cups ready right here. Ta-da! Beautiful. What do I get to cut up next? Les oignons. So I didn't know, and I've been reading this really cool book that I bought myself for Christmas. That I just wanted to show everybody that I found super, super amazingly useful. And it's called Eating on the Wild Side. So, I mean, just the title alone excited me. And it's like the first chapter is all about the wonderful benefits of garlic and the amazing health benefits of onions. So I didn't even realize, I knew onions were good for you, but I didn't realize they were really packed with that kind of nutrition. And I've been storing them all wrong. Or your refrigerator, with all the humidity, that will make them sprout. I did not know that. I guess some people leave them outside, kind of need to use them within a couple weeks, but they say just put them in your fridge on a shelf. So I learn something every day. And you know how I always complain about the fumes and the strongness of an onion? Well, the stronger the onion, the more nutritional benefits. I mean, I didn't realize that. And actually, the smaller the onion, the more it's packed with all of these health benefits, like scallions. Now, I have noticed we do a lot of recipes with scallions. They're chock full of nutrients because they're the closest onion that we have, I guess, commercially to a wild onion. So who knew? But I love this stuff. So, okay. So we're going to cut the onion up really quickly because it's probably going to be really strong and make me cry. And I don't want to do that. So again, work quickly. Make sure you've got your little garbage thing. And you can put these skins. They have nutrition in them too. The skin. I've always used the skin. So do not cut off that root, y'all. Okay. We're going to keep the root on because they want you to cut. The recipe says to cut this rather fine. Okay, so again, let's stabilize it. So let's cut that tip off. And I could use that. That could go on my stock. Now it's stable, laying flat. Let's cut that in half again. I certainly hope y'all are keeping up with me. I don't think I'm going really quickly tonight. Why not? What's the rush? This recipe is really easy. Okay, this is supposed to make it easier to peel off this skin with all the nutrients in it. They say eat a rainbow, all the different colors. Everything's got something in it. Phytonutrients. But I am going to tell you a really cool trick that I read about the garlic that I didn't know. You have to get the nutrients in the garlic to activate. So if you're just using it whole like this, you're not going to get that benefit. You got to smash it up because the two nutrients are in like little separate pockets. And when you cut it up, when you peel it and then you smash it and chop it all up, they mix and then they form this powerful nutrient. Otherwise, they won't. And then the other great thing that I learned, didn't know this, let it rest. So cut it up, chop it up, use a garlic press, whatever, and then let your garlic rest for 10 minutes. If you don't let it rest, you will not get any of the nutritional benefits, if you start cooking with it. So whatever you do your garlic first, let it rest for 10 minutes, and then you can do anything with it, and you're still going to get the benefits, all the health benefits. You will not get the health benefits from garlic powder. The only other way you can get the benefits from the garlic is freeze-dried garlic. So, who knew? Okay, so we have our two little halves. I know I've been doing a lot of studying. I hope you're taking notes, all right? Now I'm just going to slice as thinly as I can all the way through the onion to the cutting board, but I am not cutting through the root end. There's like an invisible barrier, okay? Thin as you can, if you can't get it super thin, don't even worry about it. Go all the way across, watch your fingers. And then sometimes I take my knife and I actually go through it laterally as well, okay? Then I'm using my hand almost like a claw, just sort of grabbing it, holding it, and then I'm getting a very nice small dice, okay? You shouldn't have to go over this again. You don't want to go over this again because we don't want to cry. And all those lovely Vidalia and sweet onions, 40% sugar, honey. Yep, they definitely do not have the kind of nutritional impacts. And then you're getting all that sugar. Okay, so again, that could be discarded or go into my I'm kind of scooching back because I'm going across this. Turning it. No rush. Keep your fingertips. Maybe your fingertips roll back. I don't know. Okay, just go as far as makes you comfortable. All right. There we go. Now I want to get this into my pan now. So make sure you've got a nice big, Dutch oven like this. This is my biggest one. And since this is a Mediterranean dish, I'm going to use some olive oil. Okay. Just pour a little. I don't remember what it said. Don't need a lot, just a little bit. Then I'm going to dump all of these beautiful onions into my pan. Don't forget, if you have any questions, put them in the chat box, and Alfonso will be happy to answer you, or he'll ask me. So don't be shy.
Yes, please. Just waiting eagerly.
I will try. Not, we'll get back to you, or I'll make something up. No, just kidding. No, I know everything. Not, I'm learning every day. That's why I love reading. Okay, so we've got our got some in here. Now I'm going to just start it on low. We just want to get the flavors. Don't really need to caramelize it. I just want to get it translucent. And now my eyes are going to start crying. Nah, it's not going to be that bad. Now I didn't put garlic in it. Did you notice? That was hard for me not to, but I can always put it in a little later, right? Or I'll throw in some of that freeze-dried garlic that I have in my freezer. Not,
That's
I
right.
wish I had some. I never even thought about that. Okay, the only other thing I need to cut up is my cilantro. But while this is working, and if y'all are cooking with me, I was wondering if any of y'all had any difficulty finding, if you were looking at the recipe, what did it say? It said a can of diced lentil on the recipe. I'm sorry. I think that was a typo. I've never ever heard of diced lentils in my entire career. I think, yeah, I think it's not necessary. It also didn't tell us if we should rinse the lentils or not. Now, I did happen to find one that is low in sodium. So if you can't find one, you're not going to find one that says diced. So don't worry about that.
You know what I think the mistake was? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think the mistake that happened, I think the person wanted to say dried lentils, which is the reason we have so much stock in that recipe. They meant to write dried lentils, and I think the typo came through as diced, whoever put it on there.
But it says a can.
I think they were copying and pasting. I don't know. I'm trying to work with them.
I like that. But frankly, you could absolutely add dried lentils to this recipe. Like I said, I tested it, and I actually tested it with dry lentils.
Yep.
And lentils, believe it or not, they do not necessarily have to be soaked, y'all. They cook super fast, faster than you think. And like I said, there's so many wonderful varieties. Check it out. I did not know that there were black lentils. Who knew? They're gorgeous. These are the black lentils. Didn't want to open them up because, then they'll have to put them, repackage them and stuff. So it's called the beluga, and apparently it's a pretty nice one. And so they're whole. These are all legumes, and the where's my little cheat sheet? If the legumes are dried, legumes are a huge group of beans and all these wonderful seeds that come in two. They have, when they ripen, they have two parts, like peanuts and beans. And so, but when everything is dried, the term is pulse. So I did not know that, and I was getting it all confused. What's the difference between a pulse and a legume and a dal? Well, the dal is the Indian foods. They call their lentil dishes dal. But so there's the beautiful black ones, the beluga, because they're like caviar. If you're cooking with me, don't forget to stir your stuff, okay? And then there's these gorgeous yellow ones. Now these ones are split. Okay, so these are good for pureeing. The French green ones are whole, so they're still, encased. So those are great for salads. And the French do have some really nice recipes for lentils. I know my mom was a big favorite of them. And then we have some orange ones. So we've got a lot of color, a lot of nutrients. This stuff lasts forever. Don't need a refrigerator. I mean, that's why they're the food of the future. Okay, so my onions look very nice. And now I want to add my dried spices because they're dried. They are really, the flavors kind of been lost for a while. So we need to wake them up. So let's wake them up. Let's go for it. That's the coriander. You always tell the difference. It has this wonderful kind of perfumey flavor to it. that always reminds me of the Moroccan tagines. I guess basically this is a tagine. Okay, so that one's woken up. Next, cumin, classic. Same amount of cumin, teaspoon and a half. And then they want a lot of cinnamon, actually. A whole teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, let's go for it, right? And there actually is a little bit of salt. Throw that in there. Okay, now I think I'm ready to, I can smell the fragrant onions. Still enough liquid here. Not too dry, not burning anything. Smells good. I actually have some pepper, some wonderful freshly ground pepper that I'm going to add also. Right now, I want to say 1/4 teaspoon. That's our magic. And now plop goes my butternut squash. I don't know, maybe I should put the dried lentils in. What do you think, Alfonso? I did open up a can.
The dried lentils would be great. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the reason I
think they'd be great.
Because it asks for 6 cups of liquid.
A lot.
Yeah, I thought so. Like I said, I put, but how many? So how much dry do I add? A cup?
I say let's try a cup. Let's try a cup.
Okay.
Let's see where it goes.
Going in. I think I may have a little extra somewhere. There. Good enough. What the heck? I'll put a little bit of the cooked ones in anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There, I mean, if they cook for 40 more minutes, they're going to be mush.
Yeah.
And then we've got a can of diced tomatoes. Do try to find, again, the low sodium version. I thought maybe some fire roasted tomatoes would be good.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know. And I have a wonderful dried harissa spice mixture, salt-free, that would be wonderful for this recipe. Or I also have some of my favorite, harissa is also kind of a little bit of a hot sauce. So when it's finished cooking, before I eat it, I think I'm going to have a little bit of a little squirt of this harissa. I'll show you a close up a little bit later. Okay, so now I've got everything but the cilantro in it. The chopped cilantro isn't going to go in it until the very end, before you serve it, my dear. So 6. We have some of this at the kitchen. I bought it a while ago. Thought it was wonderful. Be careful again. When you're buying a blend that's already made by a company, look for salt-free. That, or make your own. Basically, that's what we did. We made our own.
Absolutely.
So I'm just going to pour enough to cover it. Because, like I said, I don't really want this to be soupy messy. Am I missing anything? I think I got it. Cumin, coriander, got salt and pepper, the squash, the broth, the lentils,
the onion, all the good stuff.
Onion, thank you.
Cinnamon. Yep, I think you covered it.
Cinnamon, yep. Now, you know me, Alfonso.
Oh, did you add black pepper?
Where does it say red pepper?
No, black pepper, ground black pepper.
Actually, yeah, I did. I have my little Turkish pepper grinder.
Gotcha.
You remember the first time I used it? I was like,
I don't.
The pepper, stop coming out. Remember that? Yeah.
I don't. I'm sorry. Okay.
It goes in the bottom.
There you go.
Okay. I'm human. I like that because my other pepper grinder leaves, every time I put it down, I've got brown pepper all over the place, which is very annoying. Okay, so I don't know if you can guess. You should be able to guess. What do I have out on the counter that I'm going to add to mine just because I like to be difficult like that.
What do you have on the counter? A lemon, of course. Ugh.
Now, why am I going to add? I just want that little hint of lemon. You know, I love what happened to this? Hello, get out of there. Oh, whoa. Okay. Well, tagines, Moroccan tagines, a lot of them have preserved lemons. And I do have some preserved lemons in my freezer. I make my own. And they're, when the lemons, like, I have a lot of lemons, I don't want them to go bad. So I'll cut it. Do I cut it this way or this way? Yeah, I'll slice it almost all the way down to and I put a little salt on it, and then I throw it in the freezer. And then you have wham bam presto ma'am, you have some
Lemon.
Preserved lemon. All right, so I'm just going to add a little bit of lemon zest just because I can. And I just think it's going to just add that little extra zip. And believe it or not, it is one of the ingredients in my harissa mix, a little bit of lemon. So obviously it's, correlating with the lemon, preserved lemons. Okay.
Okay.
So I think it says put a lid on it.
Let's check.
Right?
Yep. In a heavy duty pot.
You want to taste it? Tastes nice.
Nice.
Cover it up. Now I'm going to do the good old Food Network trick, right?
Yep. So this is 40 minutes, guys. We're going to cook this for 40 minutes in a blink of an eye.
Fun flies when you're having fun. Oh my heavens. Now look what we have. And we back. And look, it's 40 minutes later.
Right.
And there we have our stew.
Oh, delicious.
You can see on the overhead.
Overhead, let me go and zoom in.
Now this was probably cooked a little bit more than 40 minutes.
Oh,
So,
it looks great.
See, yeah, there's a lot of liquid in there, which you may or may not want. So it's up to you. I used the amount that they called for, 6 cups, and I used the dried lentils. I didn't use a lot of lentils because, like a half a cup of dried turns into about a cup cooked, maybe a little bit more. There is, oh, I'm forgetting something. I'm moving. I need to chop up some cilantro. Now let me grab a little bit of this good stuff. I'm not going to cut off all of the stem, but just a little bit of the stem because the stem is wonderful. It adds a nice little crunch and you can eat it. So why chop it? Okay, I don't need a fancy super chop on that. Now, if you don't like cilantro, which I know some of you are going, parsley. Go for parsley. I love parsley just as much as cilantro, and I don't think you're going to lose any of that authenticity whatsoever. Okay, there we go. A pretty little dish back. Now we're gonna. I actually am going to put mine over a little bit of couscous.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, because that's probably how I would serve it. A little bit of couscous doesn't get much easier than couscous, right?
Okay. Ooh, couscous.
Couscous. Couscous is really a pasta.
You know my secret though? Before I would have cooked it, I would have toasted it a little bit just to give it that kind of ombre look to it.
Your couscous? Yeah.
Nice.
All right, a little bit of couscous. Well, y'all are just in time. Are you going to have some? My daughter just walked in. I'm really hoping she might have a little of this. You look so beautiful. Come say hello. Please come say hello. It's the beginning of the year. Say hello to my daughter. Natalie. You're too tall for this.
Okay.
You're gonna love this. Ooh,
They're saying hi, Nat, in the chat.
you must be going somewhere. She's looking all la la la.
I see.
Oh, she's just trying it on. Oh,
Oh, okay.
new clothes. All right, so there we go.
Oh, that looks lovely.
It's very pretty, very colorful. I like that about it.
Mhm.
We've got our sprinkle of cilantro.
And I love the bowl too. You always have the best little tools and platters and things. It's great.
My mother did a lot of traveling, and so she brought back all kinds of wonderful. All right, a little bit of harissa. I have my little hand of Fatma. So there you go. We have. Am I missing anything?
I think you covered all the bases. The only thing you're probably missing is a spoon.
Oh no, got it.
Take a bite and let's see how it's tasted. It looks delicious.
Oh, I know it's got it delicious. I tasted it earlier. It's a little hot.
For us, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Looks great. Let me see if I can see it on the overhand a little better. Overhead.
It's
Oh
really,
yeah, perfect.
it's really lovely. I mean, I think anybody would like this, even if they say they don't like lentils.
Lentils. Yep.
If they go, ooh, to lentils, don't even tell them lentils are in it. Okay. That would be a nice trick.
Yep.
You know, and you could serve it with this, but not on this. That's entirely up to you. And if you are a meat lover, I mean, you could totally put any meat of your liking in it.
Yep.
You know, saute that and let it simmer slowly with everything.
Well, Chef, that looks positively delicious. Like it's perfect for a day like this where it's cool. You want something hearty. You still want to keep the whole no meat thing going for a couple of days. It looks great. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming to Morocco.
Yeah.
Bon appetit. Je t'adore. I think they speak French there, pretty sure.
Oui.
And à bientôt. Okay. Next week is another class, Thursday. And we would love to have you. Same time, same bat channel. And don't forget, if you feel like making a contribution, since our classes are free, we're happy to take them. Alfonso, you know I hate.
Yes. Oh, look, I was trying to remember the email. I was trying to remember an email from earlier. Our campaign, thank you. If you definitely want to donate anything, you just go ahead and you text Be More Kitchen to 41444. Again, that's Be More Kitchen to 41444. And what you can do is make a great contribution and hope that we have a great new year and you can be a part of that. So we look forward to seeing you next week for our class. I'm trying to remember what it is. But it's something great. Something great. So definitely go ahead to that very same website that you registered on, and you can find that class along with a lot more to come. I look forward to seeing you all. We look forward to hosting you all in our virtual kitchen yet again. So you guys have a great evening. I hope you enjoy your stew and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.